Take 3. How is everybody doing? You know, this happens sometimes. Facebook can get real screwy, especially when you do these what we call dual lives. I don't know. We're going to try it again. Hopefully it will work and I will be able to bring Tony on. But anyways, I'm super excited to be here with you today. Happy Thursday. Hope you guys and gals are having a great day. Let me know who's viewing. Let me know where you're viewing from and stick around. We're going to get this to work. Promise. Okay? All right, let's see if we can. I'm praying. I'm crossing my fingers at this. Yeah, there you go.
Hello,
I don't know if that's part of neuro-linguistic programming, but I'm crossing my fingers. I am so super excited that this worked. How are you today,
absolutely.
Tony?
I'm here. Great, great. Very nice to see you. Thank you for the invite. This is really, privilege to actually be able to share some knowledge with your crowd, as well. So
It's a privilege for us. And I know it's going to be a privilege for so many that are, I see a lot of people hopping on now because I know as a recreational tennis player, and being that I am a mindset coach, I mean, you know my background, this part gets in my game. And yesterday I got slammed. We lost 6-0, 6-1. So I'm feeling like I need a little NLP training today, Tony, and I'm going to let you go ahead and let everybody know who you are and you know, just tell us a little bit about yourself. I'm going to zip and I want you to talk to everybody. They're so super excited that you're on. Again, thank you. I know you're super busy.
okay, absolutely. I mean, great to be here for sure. And my name is Tony LEKIC. I'm the mindset coach, and I specialize in neuro-linguistic programming. And for about last 7-8 years, I've been working on a professional tennis tour. And I've been working with tennis players, from like junior level to like high up in the rankings on ATP and WTA rankings. And yeah, so basically like about 6-7 years ago, I was working with some squash players, and they started getting really good results in terms of the increase in number of victories, number of titles they won in squash. And then because my passion is in tennis since my young age, I was always watching Wimbledon and US Open and all the major Grand Slams, like my father always used to do this, play it on TV for me and things like that. So I really love tennis, and coming from the same country like Novak Djokovic as well, it really inspired me to, see if my methods will work in tennis, So I started working with one player who was losing all the matches in like in junior level, and as soon as we started working together, after a few weeks, he won his first ATP point, being only 16 at the time. So that was really, fantastic, and we didn't work for a long time. But what happened was that one of the tennis agents, saw what I was doing with him, and he actually called me and said, like, Tony, I saw what you're doing, and would you like to maybe work with a few other players? And I was like, sounds interesting, for sure. I would like to, take that opportunity. And I started working with 3 young players, one age 14, another 17 and 18. And we applied those methods that I'm working on and that I've been trained for, and like the magic started. Basically one of them was losing matches for 6 months, first or second round of every tournament, and after 2 months she won.
We get that as recreational players. We have, don't we, guys? We have seasons like that, where it's like, oh my gosh, absolutely.
It
Yeah,
happens. It happens. It
it
happens.
does.
And it's that's usually the pattern that builds up, in terms of the results and in terms of the mindset as well. So what usually happens is it's very important to recognize the pattern is happening, And this is exactly what we did with the girl I'm talking about. So she actually was losing first, second round of every tournament, and after a while, she won the second round of the tournament, and from the following tournament, she had 32 victories in a row, you know, and
Amazing.
later on became #1 junior in the world, and so on. And then the other two players, so the other two players started winning tournaments as well, and altogether they won 20 titles in that 1 year, you know. So that
It's
was really,
amazing.
really big jump. And from there on, you know, I worked with a number of other players and, you know, similar results all around. And yeah, that's how it all started. And that's the introduction, what I'm doing from the player's perspective.
That's incredible. Could you tell us a little bit what, because I know a lot, I mean, I know what neuro-linguistic programming is because I've dabbled in it. Could you explain to everybody that's listening what that is in like layman terms and how that can affect not only your tennis game, but your life, your business, your relationships, right? Because there's a correlation, I feel, between, I always tell everybody this in my videos, between tennis and life. Don't you think that as well? The way we do one thing is the way that we do everything.
Yes, absolutely. I agree with you, definitely. And also, so you asked me about neuro-linguistic programming. Well,
Yeah,
neuro-linguistic programming is a set of exercises that we can do in order to actually maximize the potential of our mind and also improve it really fast, you know. So it's one of the techniques that I'm doing. Basically, I'm a master coach of neuro-linguistic programming, and also I'm doing a number of other techniques as well, like I'm doing some hypnosis, visualization, breathing techniques. Anchoring is part of neuro-linguistic programming as well. So those are the things that you know, those are some of the things that I'm working with different players, because you know, as we are all individuals, some techniques work better with you know, one person,
absolutely.
and the other techniques work better with others. But the point is that when it comes to neuro-linguistic programming, it's a really powerful set of techniques that we can do to learn how to manage our emotions. You know,
Yes.
that's like, it's an aid to help us manage our emotions, because when we play tennis, for example, it's very easy to miss a shot and then like think about that particular shot that was or
We do,
another.
we fixate. I mean, I've gotten better at it, but it's like, okay, so our forehand volleys, this is my thing. So I'm messing that up, but I shouldn't let that, and I know everybody else agrees with me probably, to mess up my entire match. I mean, it's just one stroke, right? But
Yeah.
we as recreational players tend to say, okay, so you're not doing the forehand volley correctly, it's messing up, and then it's like I'm the worst tennis player. Well, I'm not going to win. This is terrible. Oh my God, what am I going to do? The ball's going to come to me at the net, and I can't do it. I mean, I have certain things that have helped me, and I was sharing with them. I have, you know, my intent bracelet, just do it. I have belief. I have a focus band on my, because focus tends to be my problem. So I use those types of techniques, but sometimes it just doesn't work, you know?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the point, like to actually learn to be able to maximize that. I mean, probably like there is no thing that will help everyone at every single situation, because
Right.
we can see even like the top players, they are in situations where they really can control their mind during most of the matches, you know, but sometimes even they lose it, you know, sometimes even they like lose the momentum. But the idea is actually, when that happens, to be able to gain back the control as quickly as possible, so that it does not affect the game as much as, you know, without
You
being able to control it.
You see that with the players. I mean, you see, if I know that everybody on my page, we're all like tennis nuts. If you watch the progress of Djokovic, and some of the other players, and how like Roger is the best. He's so able to contain his emotions, whereas the younger ones, you know, Kyrgios and and they probably could benefit, or maybe they do from neurolinguistic, but they're, you know, have to mature as well. But it really, you can see the difference, right? Don't you think, as a trainer, that when this is incorporated, these players can go from here to like here if they incorporate it, right? I
I
mean,
mean,
you've seen that.
yes, absolutely. You mentioned Federer, and you know we all know him as like being the king of managing his emotions, and
Yes.
that's really that's really one of the big parts of his game, and that's really one of the reasons why he's probably the greatest player of all times.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a very good example because he was not always like that.
No, not in his
Like
younger years at all.
yeah. So, he actually had to manage to learn how to actually control this, and he worked really hard on the beginning to get there. And it's really good because he actually managed to pick that up and understand in his early age to how to control it, and how to actually manage his emotions. And he's like the master of his emotions now when it comes to the to playing tennis matches. Then if you look at Djokovic, you just mentioned him as well. So he was like number 3 in the world for a really really long time. Probably for a few years
Yeah,
he
it
was
was.
number
It was
3.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it was between like Federer and Nadal. They were changing on number 1 spots. Yeah, and then Djokovic was like not really there as well, like not being able to break through to like spot number 2 and number 1, and also he was losing a lot of matches at the end of the Grand Slams. So he actually talked about in his book as well. He started to work a lot on improving every aspect of his game, but also improving like his mindset, improving his eating habits as well. Like they found
Yes.
out he was allergic to gluten as well, but like constantly improving and working on his mindset to be able to actually break through that next level. And then later, he actually really managed to become number 1 in the world, win so many Grand Slams and so on. And that's really a lot thanks to his mindset, to his work on his mindset. And he mentions this a lot in a number of his interviews. That like tennis is a mental game and so on.
No, it's so interesting. Don't you feel too, as recreational players, being that most people on my page are, though I do have several coaches on there, and I did have somebody famous a while back, semi-famous. They disappeared though, but they were on my page for a little bit. But what do you think, or what do you see is the number one problem for recreational players? What do you see as the number one problem?
For recreational players, well, I something that I learned in on a pro tour, that
Yeah.
maybe can help recreational players is, and this is something that is missing on a pro tour as well. Not many players are actually preparing mentally for matches,
Yes.
and any kind of mental preparation for the match is better than no mental preparation at all for the match. That's what I experienced from working with all these professional players. So whatever it is, like it's because if you play recreationally and you have some situations where you played really well and everything was happening in the flow, and you were hitting the balls in a fantastic way, and then you can probably recall that situation in your mind, before the match. And this is something that in NLP is called anchoring. you
Yeah.
know you you are definitely familiar with that, but I'm just saying for
Mhm.
everybody
A
else,
lot of
like,
people don't know what this is. This is all brand new to them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. So anchoring is basically a technique in neurolinguistic programming that can be used to actually associate certain past situation where you experience certain great, good emotion, like positive emotion, and then you can actually neurologically connect that previous experience, to the current situation. And a lot of players, if you watch any of the lot of players, they are using certain routines. Before, for example, Nadal, we can see he's actually the way before he's serving, he's doing a lot of different movements and so
Yeah,
on.
yeah. Rituals.
Yes, rituals, and this is exactly, rituals are really good because of the familiarity. You know,
Consistency.
familiarity of the situation, and in incorporated in rituals, you can do something before the match that can really lift you up, or put you in that state of mind where you are in the best position in terms of performing. So that's something that can be used for sure, like, just to start with. First of all, breathing is really, really important, and I can
Hmm.
see a lot of people are actually not using breathing in the full capacity.
They hold
And
their breath, hoping
yeah,
their
yeah, yeah.
shot goes in. Muy-
That, and that's really natural, because whenever we experience certain danger, we just like hold breath
I've
and
done
just
it.
like,
Yeah,
how
I
can
know.
how can I
It's
run away from
hilarious.
it?
Yeah, I know, I know. It's
That-
hilarious.
yeah,
I,
but like taking a couple of deep breaths, even during after, like, stressful situation in the match, can help you actually regroup faster. So that's some of the things, like breathing, and also doing anchoring. But for this particular interview, maybe going too deep into anchoring, it's not
I think
really.
that's gonna. I, I mean, I would love it, but I don't know if everyone would find value in that. Tony, I have a
Yeah.
question. So,
Mhm.
if any of my friends on my page want to get in touch with you, how would they do so? And is there something you can offer Karen's Corner for Savvy Tennis Enthusiast friends?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if they want to get in touch with me, that's very easy. They can just contact me via Facebook. They can
Okay.
just send me friend request, and then also send me a direct message, and that would be great. And as a result of this interview, anyone from your page, if they want, I can actually, for example, first 5 people that contact me, I can offer them a free session.
Oh, that's
Uh,
amazing. Oh, you're so generous. Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
So I can offer them free session, and then we can see what they need help with, and maybe give them some tips, and also if they're interested in anchoring or any other technique that will help them
This is
improve the game.
wonderful because Tony, what I see is when I do my posts and videos and I ask questions, I find there's two things that tennis players struggle with. The number one thing being the mental part, and number two being nutritional aspect. They're getting fatigued and things like that. And that's what I do for a living, is the nutritional and the mindset, being a life coach. But I don't have obviously your vast training with the tennis, way of doing things in the neurolinguistic. Oh, Kim wants to know if you have a blog or a podcast or a
Um,
newsletter.
I don't have a blog. I have a group, on Facebook as well, which is called Improve Your Tennis Game. I started
Improve
this
your
few months
tennis
ago.
game. Kim, can
Yeah.
you type that down below? Improve your tennis game and write Tony's name below. Also, Tony. How do you spell your last name, Tony? Lekevic, right?
LEKIC.
I
Yeah.
see. Okay. And you guys can get in touch with him. And any questions, Tony, is it okay if they leave questions below for you to answer?
Yeah, 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 absolutely. That'll be great. Yeah.
Okay, again, Tony, thank you. I appreciate you so much. And I don't know, for the viewers that are on live or replay, know that, Tony, are you in Germany now or in London?
At the moment, I'm in Germany. Yeah, I do travel a lot as well. So
Right,
yeah.
he's in Germany right now, so it's his bedtime, so we need to let him go.
Okay, but thank you very much, Karen, for inviting me.
We'll
It
do
was my
this
pleasure.
again. We'll do this again, Tony. I so
Yeah, that'd be
appreciate
great.
you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All the best.
Night.
Have fun.
Night. All
Good
right.
night.
Bye-bye.